Hello and welcome to FPL Expectations with me, Craig. It's been a long time since we've been here, and we're back talking about FPL. We had that break during the World Cup. I know it's been a bit tough. We didn't get a show out just before Christmas, but I hope you all had a Merry Christmas with your loved ones. And now we're talking about Game Week 18. And as always, I'm never alone. I'm joined here by Joe FPL. Joe, how are you doing?
Good. Good to be back after the World Cup. I think World Cup. I think we all had a good time as well, enjoying football, and some of us maybe even fantasy. But it was that's probably a topic for another time.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I was just while I was doing my game week 17 team, I was like thinking, this seems so foreign to me. I mean, what am I looking for? Am I looking for form? I mean, that goes out the window because it's been like over a
Mhm.
month. And we're looking
Yep.
at like fixtures, and we're looking at, like you just don't know what you're looking for anymore. And it's like it's almost like we're starting the season again.
Yeah.
But it was so weird, like just talking and thinking about FPL in the Premier League terms. I know like some of us played the World Cup fantasy, but it's not quite
hmm
the same, is it?
Oh, I mean, I'm to just to touch a bit. When during the start of the World Cup fantasy, we had so many bugs going on with the website and the whole game itself, and and I'm not sure why they did not, just reuse the whole features, the whole system from the Euros, and they just decided to build one from ground up. So there are just so many different rules, and and it's so confusing at the start.
Yeah. But anyway, that aside, we're back with FPL. Game week 17 has just passed us. And like I said, very tough to select your players. But we did have that free wildcard where we could make unlimited transfers and kind of reset our teams as we approach game week 17. We're going to go straight into it. And Joe, we're going to have a look at how you got on with your game week 17 team. Talk us through it.
Okay, so they said I got a red arrow. I think there were a few 50-50 decisions that I made just before the deadline, which probably did not turn out as well as I would hope for. So overall, I got 83. I mean, it's amazing. Like this game week, 83 gives you a red arrow. You see people scoring three digits, and
Yeah.
it's not that hard to achieve. If you get the right players, because there are some monster hauls. I think one of it is Mitrovic, 15 points. You got Salah as well. You got I think like Odegaard having 11 points. So some of my 50-50 decisions did not go according to plan. So, but one thing I'm happy with is Kepa doing quite well. I
Yeah.
think he got a save and two bonus as well, which gives him 9 points. I think also
At
Rashford.
4.5, what value that is, by the way.
Sorry.
At 4.5, what value that is, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then against Forest this week as well. Um,
Hmm.
Rashford, great. I mean, I think he's getting back on form. Ever since he had a short cameo at the World Cup,
Yeah.
um, and also coincides well with United's fixtures. Um, Almiron, just he somehow he continues his form. The 1 month break doesn't stop him. So was Trippier. Um, some punts didn't really go well. I think if you look at Kulusevski, I think he's an exciting player. I think he just won the Swedish Golden Ball.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's just I think one assist. Sometimes some people say it wasn't an intended assist, but we've seen FPL given those before. So pretty unfortunate that he did not get that assist. Yeah, Cancelo, Pep, just being Pep again. Reece James is also another disappointment. I mean, it's just frustrating for him as well to have that same injury again that kept him out of the
Yeah.
World Cup. Darwin is crazy. I mean, he got all those chances. He had 4 big chances, and he did not convert even one, which is a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit.
I know, right?
A bit frustrating as an owner, but at least he's getting those chances, So yeah, I mean, he is definitely a hole for me. He's playing, he's getting chances. I rather them getting chances than not getting any chances at all. So yeah.
I think with Darwin, I mean, again, watching the match, I think there was a stat that that was the most missed chances by a player this season. And when you look at it, like you said, the chances being created, he's getting into those positions, but it's the lack of composure, maybe a lack of quality at times, which is letting him down. But you'd like to think that with that kind of services, if he's getting 5 chances a match, he's bound at some point to put at least 1 or 2 away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why. I mean, but 4 big chances, it's pretty rare and unheard of.
Yeah.
That's huge. Imagine if he convert only half of it, he already could have gotten a brace.
It's a big haul. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're talking about bonus points after that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely happy to keep, especially home against Leicester. So we'll just see how it goes.
Okay. And obviously, nothing to talk about with Erling Haaland. As you said, I mean, it goes without saying, really, isn't it? And you would have been mad not to have captained him this week. And is that Anthony Martial that I see as well?
Yep.
Who's that you got up front? Sorry,
Anthony Martial.
And,
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, going with Martial, obviously, a bit of a punt, I would say. Got a return, which is good. Could have possibly got another goal as well, but an easy hold for you. I mean, obviously, we're going to come on to game week 18 soon, but with Mitrovic's kind of form and his double coming up, is there temptation to maybe switch that later on?
I actually in this team, I kept 0.1 in the bank just in case I want to do Martial to Mitrovic, but unfortunately I couldn't catch the price rise, and I'm priced out of getting Mitrovic. But I'm happy to hold Martial.
Okay.
Ronaldo isn't there anymore, so he is probably the first choice, and just
as long as
he stays fit. Yeah, just hopefully he stays fit, and on his day he can really do a lot of damage.
Okay, fantastic. So that's game week 17. I mean, like you said, in any other week, 83 points, you'll be over the moon with that. Absolutely happy. You'll be a green arrow. But as we said, that the restart is not a normal week. So we saw some very, very big scores. But overall, like moving forward, I mean, you're happy with the decisions that you made. I mean, obviously some punts, like you mentioned, didn't come off, Kulusevski, James, etc. But in general, is this a team that you're happy with the decisions? Were there some that you were 50-50 with, and you regret not going the other way?
I mean, I'll probably just touch base a bit on my 50-50 decisions. I think one of it is between Salah and KDB, because I actually had Salah and I moved to KDB, and I actually lose value because I have some value in Salah. So I think mainly.
What was the thinking behind that? I mean, you just really like that Leeds fixture, or?
Yeah, I mean, past few games against Leeds, they have been doing scoring a lot of goals, and also they have their upcoming double as well, because we have not confirmed whether Liverpool will get a double or not, which is why I was thinking, triple City is almost a must, and
Yeah.
and having Darwin, because as expected, he hawks all the big chances and all the
Yeah.
XGs. So take a little bit of hindsight. Yeah. So thought maybe he could have been the end of those chances instead of Salah. So which is why I went for triple City instead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that lead switch was such a good one. You had to go triple City, whether you went with Foden instead of Almiron or KDB against Salah. It was one of those. But either way, whichever way you went with Foden or KDB, you both got burned. So I went Foden and got me nothing, but I missed out on Almiron's points. So yeah, that hurt. That hurt. But we move on. One of the big talking points this week is obviously Reece James. Came into many FPL teams, obviously with a double in sight. Reece James, obviously with the month off, didn't go to the World Cup. Injury has, he's back in training. Words from coming out of Chelsea was that he was going to play. He did play. He did start. Didn't make it to the 60th minute. Came off around 53 minutes. And as you mentioned earlier, a reoccurrence of the same injury. I think it's his right knee. Since then, we've had word coming out of Chelsea saying that he will be out for 1 month. Now, obviously, it's been a big talking point. Since the match, who are we going to take Reece James out for? And there are quite a few candidates for this position. So we're talking about the likes of Luke Shaw. We're talking about the likes of Aaron Cresswell. Sven Botman's been mentioned. But Joe, you've gone for Luke Shaw. Tell us why.
I think firstly, why I go for Luke Shaw is... sorry, I think there's some echo coming up from your side, Craig.
From my side?
Are you using a speaker or
yeah,
earphones?
Let me see if I can adjust that. Yeah, you go on. Let me just see if I can adjust that.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I went for Luke Shaw, I think, firstly, he's an attacking fullback, and United are having a good run of form, and they're having a good fixture. Also, he's much cheaper than Reece James, which is why he was my choice, because I think if you look at other choices like Botman, I'm not sure how attacking is he. Yes, the Newcastle's defense is solid, but I probably wouldn't want to double up on Newcastle defense. Of course, I could have just benched James and bring in Ben White, but Ben White against Brighton, to be honest, I can probably see Brighton scoring in that one, and Ben White is not really an attacking defender, which is why I rather keep Ben White on the bench and probably bring him in more for the double. Which is why I went for Luke Shaw, and I would admit why I bring him in early is because I was swayed by potential price changes between James and Shaw. True enough, Shaw's price went up this morning. This morning in Malaysia by 0.1, and James, I could see him dropping probably in a day or two, especially since his status in FPL has changed from 50% to 0%. So we would probably see quite a lot of people removing him, players removing him today before the deadline. So I could see his price drop as well. So that's a potential of 0.2 million difference, which is huge. So I have to admit, price changes was one of the reasons why I made the move early as well.
Yeah. And I mean, we talk about Luke Shaw. Is there a concern? I mean, in the previous match against Nottingham Forest, he played as a centre back. So therefore, I mean, you didn't really get that attacking threat. We do know Lisandro Martinez is back in training, but ahead of the game this weekend, I mean, is there a concern from your part that he played really well in that role, actually, Luke Shaw?
Yep.
Is there concern that he starts again in that and you miss out on that attacking threat?
I mean, Craig, he even got 2 bonus in
Yeah.
in that game. So yeah.
I mean, I was at the game. He's fantastic, to be fair to him. I was a bit worried when I saw Luke Shaw said about, oh God, don't tell me. Really, really bad. But yeah, it was actually he had a solid game. But I mean, obviously you bring him in because primarily he's going to be playing as a left back. Is this a long-term pick or is it a short-term pick for yourself?
I think at his price, he's a long-term hold for me. 4.8. Okay. He's benchable if you need him to be bench. Of course it's fixture dependent, and if Martinez comes back in, him and left back is a bonus. So they play against Wolves and they play against Bournemouth, I think. They play Wolves away
and Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah.
So with the Epic fixture in between, I think. No, sorry. Epic fixture was after that.
What fixture?
FA Cup.
Fixtures, okay. And after that, they have the derby, So
yeah, that's coming up as well. Yeah.
So you'll be able to catch the derby.
I will be. Yeah, looking forward to it. I was actually with a kanji out in Doha, and and I was having a discussion about it. He goes, "We're gonna smash you guys." So they're definitely up to it. Just gotta hope that they don't get the 3 points.
So yeah. I mean he's a long-term hold for me as long as he stays fit. Yeah, he stays fit and he plays a left back. Let's just see his fixtures. I think apart from the Man City and Arsenal fixtures, others are pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good run.
In fact, I would say it's a good run until the end of the season. If you look at if you just look at that. Yeah. So it's definitely a hold for me. And they have 2 games which is not being scheduled yet. That means they can potential to have another 2 like double game weeks.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's fantastic. So that's Luke Shaw. I mean, you've gone with Luke Shaw. What about a case for the others? I mean, you mentioned Sven Botman. Obviously, you don't want a Newcastle double up. I mean, but for the ones that are looking at Botman who haven't made that Reece James change yet, I mean, what's the argument for him? What's the pros in getting Botman? Likewise with I think Cresswell's another one that's been mentioned. What are the cases for these guys?
I mean, I think I mentioned this just now. Botman, he's definitely not as attacking as Luke Shaw, but he is cheaper by about I think 0.4. No, 0.5 now because Shaw's price has risen, so 0.5. So this 0.5 is pretty significant. But I think most of us already have Trippier, so getting Botman that will mean double up in defense. So do you want to put more eggs in that Newcastle basket? I mean, yes. To be fair to them, they're really solid at the back. But yeah, I mean,
it's probably good to mention that some people may have Pope in goal as well. So you don't really want a triple. You don't really want a triple Newcastle backline, really, as good as they are.
Yeah, exactly. I think another option people are looking at is Lewis Dunk because of the Brighton's potential. I mean, Brighton's double game week even potential triple game week, but highly unlikely.
Yeah. And
Well, I mean,
whilst we're on Dunk as well, you're going to mention Cucurella as well. I mean, they're looking at just a direct switch from James to Cucurella just because of Chelsea's doubles.
yeah, Cucurella, he is more expensive than Dunk, Shaw, Botman. I think he's a bit, if I'm not mistaken, it's like
Really?
what, 5.2, 5.1? Let me just do a quick check. Yeah, he's 5.2. So when when Chilwell comes back, will Cucurella keeps his spot? Maybe not. But I think another thing to look at is the Chelsea fixtures is not really as enticing.
I mean, essentially, you're picking them for the double that's coming up, right? And it's not exactly the best double as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the double they have is home to Man City. I think that's a tough one. We all know that.
Yeah.
And away to Fulham. We know Fulham's attacking stats with Mitrovic and Pereira. Leading the line is pretty good. So, and Chelsea in the past, their defensive stats aren't really that, I would say, encouraging or give much assurance. So I think if you have, I mean, like especially for myself, I already have Kepa.
Yeah.
Having Cucurella is already double up. Yes, I know James is also double up, but James, we don't really treat him as a defender. And Cucurella, I mean, compared to James, Cucurella is not as attacking. His attacking stats is not as good as James's. So
yeah,
I mean, if you're looking for a Chelsea defender, then Cucurella he's a direct swap,
cheaper option
to James. Yeah, cheaper option.
Yeah.
Fairly nailed. I wouldn't say 100%. Fairly nailed. And also upcoming doubles. So yeah, if you really want a Chelsea defender, then yes, Cucurella is probably the best option of all their defense, of all their defenders. I think you mentioned Cresswell as well.
Yeah.
So let's just look at Cresswell for a moment. So yeah, Cresswell, I think good fixtures, good upcoming fixtures, really good differential on set pieces. I think he is a solid pick as well. Playing Brentford and then Leeds away, Wolves away, and home to Everton. So I think that's a solid pick as well. 4.8 can't go wrong with Cresswell. It's only in terms of their defense, it's a bit iffy.
How solid they're going to be at the back.
Yeah. So they did lost to Arsenal 3-1 the last game. So I think Brentford is probably the game that they want to capitalize. But Brentford, there are no pushovers either. So it really depends. I think in terms of defensive stats, probably West Ham is not as good as Man United's at the moment, especially if Martinez comes back. But Cresswell, you want him more for those attacking returns. So yeah, Cresswell is also a decent pick if you already have Shaw.
Okay, fantastic. So that's the Reece James potential replacements. So obviously we've got Shaw high up on that list. Joe's gone with him. We've got Botman. If you don't have Trippier and you do want to maybe dole up a Newcastle defence, definitely a cheap option as well. Aaron Cresswell is a good cheap alternative. And if you want to go a little bit more premium, Cucurella could be the one without the potential of getting a lot of attacking returns, but they've got the double coming up. So we look at the players to target for the next 3 game weeks, and and guys that kind of stuck out for you in game week 17. Obviously, we're coming to a very hectic period within the Premier League schedule, so the games are going to come thick and fast. So we've got to kind of look at form in that game week 17, and just see who's coming through. And I mean, Joe, we talked about Marcus Rashford. Maybe not everyone went for him, and left him. But I mean, with the fixtures and everything, I mean, he's someone that's high up on that list for a place to target in the next 3 game weeks.
I mean, firstly, I think we need to look at the next 3 game weeks. Maybe just let me share Ben Krelin's. Let me just stop screen. I share Ben's. Yeah. So this is a bit all over the place because he includes all the other matches as well. But I think we focus on, if you talk about next 3 game weeks, meaning that's 18, 19, and 20. Okay. So I mean, of course, we have to look at the doubles of game week 19. So there are still some like for example, we get Chelsea getting a double, Fulham also getting the double. So probably Chelsea and Fulham, they at least need to have one of each, if not two. If you talk about Chelsea, I think Kepa, most of us already. Some of us already has him. If you like we mentioned just now, if you want another option, it's Cucurella. Also, in terms of midfield, there is a Mason Mount. I think he scored over the weekend. I mean, over Boxing Day. So another one is Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Kai Havertz playing. I mean, obviously, looks like he's going to be the starting striker for Chelsea as well.
Yep. So I think Aubameyang was benched, and Kai started. And yeah. Kai did get a goal, so he is probably one of the attacking options that you can look for the Chelsea side. In terms of Fulham, Mitrovic, of course, high up there. Pereira as well.
It's important to remember. I just need to highlight the Mitrovic situation. Obviously, he's got double coming up, but he's also on the verge of a potential suspension. One more yellow card, and he misses one of the doubles. So it's one of those risky assessments that you got to take as well.
Mm-hmm. And he missed arguably the better double, the better game week. I mean, the better match of the double, which is the Leicester match. If he gets suspended, I mean, if he gets that 5th yellow. Yeah. So, which is why some people are deterred away from bringing him in. Although he has a good fixture home against Southampton, and he's on good form. So, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Mitrovic. He is definitely one of the players that will do well, throughout the whole season. So but it's just if you want to bring him in, one of the reasons because of the double, then it will be a bit. I mean, if he does get that 5th yellow, it'll be a shame. But I think if I'm not mistaken, after game week 19, his yellow card should be the threshold should be increased to 10. I think it is after game week 19.
Yeah, he just needs to see it out, right?
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Maybe you can help me with this. Let's say if he gets a yellow card on the Leicester game, is he suspended for the Chelsea game?
Well, let me find out for you while you carry on with players to watch out for.
Yep. So okay, then another one. Of course, if you look at, I think there is another potential double game week for game week 20 as well. For the likes of Leeds, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, maybe. And of course, you have those already are confirmed, which is Man City and Spurs. Spurs are getting double game week on game week 20 versus Arsenal at home and then away to City. So sounds pretty tough, but we know Spurs, they sometimes can turn up against big teams. They love a good challenge, especially against City. Somehow Spurs is like a City's boogie team. Especially Son loves scoring against City. But yeah, so one of the reasons why I triple out on Man City is also because of the double game week on game week 20. And also why I get Kulusevski is also because of that. So I think Spurs and City are definitely one to look for. And if somehow Manchester United gets their double on game week 20, it will be another good one because I think the second game week and the second match of that game week will be either against Palace or Leeds, which is another good fixture for them. So I would say Man United is also, if you've not already gotten any Man United players, they're definitely a good team to target, to have, because they have a home against Bournemouth in game week 20, game week 19, and a potential double game week on game week 20. So
when do these potential doubles get announced? Do you know?
That's the problem. I think I saw a tweet by Ben saying the announcement for game week 20 will be probably either minutes before the deadline or after the deadline, which is very unfortunate if it does happen.
Yeah. So that doesn't really, go in hand with what we'd like, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, which is why, like, if you really want a player for double game week 20, is probably Man City or Spurs are the team to go for.
Okay, just going back to the yellow card situation and what I found. So you get a 1-match ban if 5 yellow cards are received before 19 Premier League fixtures. We're obviously going into 18. And you get a further 2-match ban if there are 10 yellow cards received before 32 fixtures. So he just needs to see himself out to the 19th, and then he's clear, really.
So basically, if he clears the Southampton match, then he's safe.
Correct. So 18.
Oh no, wait.
18, 19, Southampton. Yeah, correct. Chelsea's his second part of the double, right?
Yeah. So because I think they only played how many matches so far? They only played 17 matches. 17 matches.
So he's got the 18 coming up.
He's got the 18. So once he gets the 18, he's safe. Then even if he gets the yellow against Leicester, he's safe to play against Chelsea.
No. So 19th, it goes up to the 19th. Oh, before 19, sorry. Before 19, yeah, correct. You're correct.
Which is why I think some people are holding it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he needs to clear this game week and be free from a yellow card, and then he's good.
So I guess he's safe to bring in on the game week 19 itself if he clears the Southampton game.
Yeah. So he's got Southampton he just needs to clear Southampton, and then he should be good.
But I mean, I don't know. Based on the years of playing FPL, he's just going to get that yellow card, isn't he?
Well, the thing is, Mitrovic. I mean, he's been, what he's about, and he is.
He is a bit
physical player, though, and hot-headed. So,
hot-headed, physical, emotional.
Yeah. But as tasty as that Southampton fixture is it worth risking? No, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm happy to go without it.
you
I'm happy with the strike force that I have, so I'm going to go
yeah,
with that.
me too.
So yeah, you mentioned a few good players there, the ones that's target, but there are some tasty fixtures there. So it depends how much you want to tinker around with your team. Obviously, we just kind of reset that team, and I mean, I'm always of the case. I mean, we've just got this like supposedly free wildcard post World Cup. Um, and when you set up your team, it's for the next few game weeks rather than just one game week, right? Obviously,
Hmm.
there's some enforced changes that you have to make, like Reece James. But generally, you don't want to tinker around too much in it, and you can really like bank a transfer and save it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not in a hurry to replace James,
Yeah,
banking the transfer is always a welcome move. Having two transfers, especially ahead of a double game week, is always it will always brings benefit.
okay. Fantastic. All right, Joe, let's see your game week 18 team. We do know that you've obviously made the James transfer out to Luke Shaw. Just want to see who you're selecting and who you're captaining for the week. I think the captaincy is pretty straightforward and simple, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, home against Everton, oh, and
Too tasty, yeah? Too tasty.
you you he okay. You see, I just maybe just giving some of my personal thoughts. Some people might say, oh, he's a boring pick. You should try to go against, try to punt a differential captain. I mean, that's true if the popular captain is inconsistent.
Yeah.
But Haaland, we know he converts his big chances. I think I'm not sure. I think I saw this somewhere. I think it was shared by all about FPL. His conversion of big chances is pretty crazy. About definitely more than 50%.
Yeah.
I think
I do
almost
have to say,
60%.
I mean, you're touching on big chances. I mean, he had quite a few big chances against Leeds that he fluffed. One within the first 20 seconds. I mean, a couple of one-on-ones that he had on his right foot, which he really should have done better with. I mean, that's just being greedy, obviously. But I mean, knowing the quality that Haaland has,
Yeah.
and being, arguably one of the world's best strikers, you expect him to finish that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. If you give him four big chances like Darwin, I'm pretty sure he can at least convert half of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, yeah, we talk about that, but he's come away with 2 goals. We talk about the chances that he's missed, but he's come away with 2 goals. I mean, where else would Darwin's had like 6 big chances and he's converted none?
So it's actually not wise at all to go against Haaland captaincy, especially his average effective ownership is 190%. So
Yeah.
going against him and he still if he scores, basically you're screwed. So it's probably a no-brainer to just keep him as a captain.
Okay.
So yeah. Other than that,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say. So Captain Haaland. Other than that, it's pretty much the same team. It's
pretty much the same team except Shaw for James.
Shaw for James. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any temptation to start Pereira?
I mean, I can't see him starting. I can't see starting Pereira other than the players, other than my front seven.
Well, I'm looking at Kulusevski.
I mean, Kulusevski home against Villa is a good fixture, and Kulusevski, he is an impact player. He brings that dynamic. That he creates chances. He take on defenses. I think he's a key player for Spurs. And just hopefully
yeah, go on. Sorry.
Just hopefully he returns this time. I mean, if you look at his EO here, it's only 3.9%. So he's my main differential player.
Differential, yeah.
Yeah.
One guy I want to touch on, and it's maybe a little bit insignificant, insignificant, but Bueno, right? I've gone for him as well. Cheap 3.9. Started for
Mm-hmm.
Wolves last week. Came
Yep.
off, and Ait Nouri scores the winner. And they're playing the same position, right? Worrying or not?
I mean, he's stuck on my third bench. I'm not too. I mean, even if he's bench, I'm not too worried. He's more. I can treat him like a bench fodder.
Okay, so never any danger of him playing, yeah?
Nah, not too
Okay.
concerned.
Okay, fair enough. Just wanted to clear that up because I know, I mean, he was highlighted quite a bit during the World Cup break. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he did start, but got taken off, and his replacement scored the winner. So just don't know how that looks. But yeah, fair enough. That's your game week 18 team, ready to rock and
Yep.
roll.
Yep.
We're going to go on and just see if there are any questions. I saw a couple of questions in the chat for. For some help from their teams. If you've got any other questions, do post them in now, and we'll get them answered. First one's from Mustafa. He's got Raya, Cancelo, Cucurella, Shah, Martinelli, Silva, Rashford, Saka, Zaha, Martial, and Haaland. And on his bench, Sanchez, Oba, Ben White, Patterson. What are your thoughts?
Hmm. I think who. Let me just check the.
Well,
Okay,
my first
so
thoughts are
Raya.
Oba on the bench.
Sorry.
My first thoughts are Oba on the bench. I mean, I think that's get rid of straight away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why would you want to bring in Alba and you keep him on the bench? He's like a very expensive bench
Yes,
player.
exactly.
Um, so I would probably, drop him for Harvard's even if you want. Yeah, and then I think if you look at your defense, Cucurella, Shaw, Cancelo, I think that's pretty okay, not too bad. Raya is playing against West Ham this week, where Sanchez is playing against Arsenal. So probably Raya is worth playing over Sanchez. Um, Silva, Rashford, Saka, Zaha. Uh, yeah, I think pretty decent team. It's just Aubameyang on the bench is a bit questionable for
Yeah,
me. I would probably either downgrade him or move him to another player that plays.
yeah.
Other than
So
that,
I
it's
mean,
fine.
the options. I mean, we did highlight a few forward options earlier on in the show. I mean, let's just go through it again. Obviously, Mitrovic, with that yellow
Hmm.
card pending, we have to
Yep.
highlight that he's definitely a good option. Joe
Hmm.
mentioned Havertz, good option. You really have Martial, um, Nunes. Not sure if your money from Oba can get you to that. But also a very good option despite those chances that he missed against Aston Villa the other week or the day rather. Um, those are the three that are on the top of my head. Am I missing anyone?
Um.
Nketiah. We haven't spoken about Nketiah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean,
Nketiah is
a
also a
nice
very good
cheap option.
option because I think they should have a double game week coming out right up as well. I think game week
Yeah.
23 or 22. Let me just see Ben's spreadsheet. Possibly 21 or 22. Their double game week.
Okay.
So he is another good shot as well.
Yeah. So I mean, he looks really good, sharp. He took his goal really well
Mm-hmm.
against West Ham. So I mean, if you're looking for a cheap alternative and looking to invest that money elsewhere in the team, I mean, I think for now, I mean, obviously, once Jesus comes back, it's I'm pretty sure he more or less loses his place, but I don't think Jesus is coming back anytime soon. Uh,
Yeah.
I think I saw he was on the sidelines and I saw him on crutches in a knee brace. So I just don't think that it's it's a player that's going to come back anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. I think you're looking at least like what 2 months. At least 2 months
Yeah.
for Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that pretty much answers your question, Mustafa. So yeah, I think we've got some good options there for yourself. Yeah, get rid of Aubameyang. Can't have him on your bench. It's too much money to have just sitting on
He
your
said
bench.
0.6. I checked. He said 0.6.
He's what? 8.6.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that is a lot, and you can get some good playing alternatives into your
Yep.
team as well, and
Exactly.
like I said, invest that money elsewhere in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Cancelo, I mean, he mentioned he's got Cancelo. I mean, is that a worry
Yep.
that he didn't play the other day, or do you think that's just a rotation thing? I mean, Kyle Walker didn't start. Do we expect them to come back for Everton?
Yeah, I expect Cancelo to come in for Everton. Pretty,
Yeah.
pretty, pretty confident of that.
Okay, fair enough. I personally have Kyle Walker and Rico Lewis starting wasn't good for me, but I think Rico Lewis to start the last two games Carabao Cup as well as the Premier League match, so I expect Kyle Walker to come back into the team hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
So that brings us to the end of the show. Joe, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah, been good to do this again after a very, very long break. I mean, I think it's one of the longest breaks that we've ever had, in mid-season. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for taking the time out. I know you're a busy man. And all the best for game week 18.
You too.
Yeah. And thank you all for watching. If you haven't done it already, do give us a like, do subscribe down below to FPL Expectations. We're on Twitter as well, so do follow us. It's at FPL Expectations, and my handle as well as Joe's handle is right on your screens there. If you aren't already following, do give us a follow. Joe, I wish you a very happy New Year,
You too, Craig.
and I wish you green arrows all around as well.
Oh, yeah, I need them. I need them.
Yeah.
After a red one last game week.
I know. But let's hope you end the year on a green arrow, yeah?
Oh yes.
Fantastic. All the best, guys, and good luck for game week 18. Over and out.